Hey, Louie. How are you? He's totally forgotten that I whacked him in the face yesterday. Well, when I don't pay attention, sometimes he'll like, he doesn't really bite or claw, but you feel his claws and his teeth for a moment before he runs away like a scaredy cat. I wasn't ready for it, so I whacked him in the face because I didn't expect to be, anyway. Okay, this is an exciting episode you're not going to want to miss. Stay till the end because the end will be a super great reveal. No, I don't. Don't you hate clickbait? Like, if anything says, so-and-so destroyed so-and-so with this comment, or the most amazing thing you've ever seen, I move on. I'm not interested. I prove them wrong by missing out on it and not caring. I like genuine, I know clickbait works. I know it does, but I like genuine. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. You don't have to be all splashy and crazy about it. Anyway, but really, for real, on this episode, you won't want to miss it. And then you realize the end was the same as the middle, is the same as the front, and really there was no reveal. The exciting part was the title. So, I'll have to work on my exciting titles, try to just the energy attract anyway. He's not impressed either. So, okay. All of this jibber jabber because I don't know what I'm doing today. Do you remember what we did last time? Where did we leave off? Yeah, I don't remember either. So let's get to work and see where this adventure takes us. All right. I have no idea. I had to pause for a minute because something came in the mail and sorry, I got distracted by Louie. He gets into things. Yeah. I apologize. You did not come to watch a cat video. My life is a cat video. Anyway, this thing came in the mail. So I will preface it, not to make too big a deal. But if you remember, I don't know, a few episodes ago, I talked about not wanting any badging on the car. So there's going to be no Cobra badging. There's going to be no 427 badging, no Shelby badging, no Factory 5 badging. It's good, basically, I feel like I'm making the point. No badging. The wheels do say Shelby on them. The center caps do, but it's black and it's pretty subtle, and I couldn't help it because that's just the way they came. I don't have any problem with badging, actually. If I was building a more classic style Cobra, I would do all the classic things because that's fun. That makes it anyway. I don't have any problem with it. But for this build, particularly, the way it's come together, the materials, the colors, the look, I am eschewing the badging. Wow. I get 25 points for using eschewing in a sentence. I don't even know if I used it right. But it doesn't matter because I used it. That is to say, doing without. However, I had one problem, and that was the center cap on the steering wheel I can't leave it blank, you know. It's just there. You have to put something there. It's not a horn, but it's a, you know, it's a button. So most people put Cobra there, or the Factory 5 supplies a very nice, very good quality Factory 5 center cap for it. But since I'm not doing that, then I had to come up with something. And so let me show you what I came up with. And yeah, it's just, I guess all of this, all speech for that. I'm sorry, okay? I had to explain it. So I went old school. Originally, these were AC Cobras. This is the original style AC logo. And I think it goes with the black and the polished and the round. I think it's great. This is a metal sticker, basically. Found a place on Etsy, Portugal. I don't know what's in Portugal, but a guy that makes stickers is in Portugal. And I just measured this and found the closest diameter and sent him a couple of pictures of what I wanted, and they turned out amazing. So he sent me 4 of them. Oh, welcome back. It's cold out today. So anyway, yeah, it's like, it was very, very inexpensive. Wasn't expensive at all. I have 4 of them. I guess in case I ruin one, but he just sold them in packs of 4. So anyway, I love it. I absolutely love it. I think it is the look that I was going for. So anyway, I'm gonna get back to this panel and ready in the next day or so. That body is going on that car. We're gonna scare a cat by cranking this motor up, and I'm just going to back it up over there. This will be the first time I actually put it in gear, so this will be interesting. All right. Oh yeah. Okay. Probably would help to attach my power. Whoops. Oh, back cramp. Oh yeah, that's awesome. Okay. All right, let's see if I can do this. Oh yeah, that is so loud. That is loud. I think Louie is hiding. Oh, so cool. All right. All right. Well, I just put the relay in that goes, you know, it can run all the LED lights and stuff because the factory one doesn't do it. But I got to thinking, I was doing a lot of things here that I didn't really explain what I was doing. I just kind of was doing it. So I'm going to kind of take you in here, just the couple things that I did. You saw me working on lights. You saw me working on the oil filter area and all of that kind of stuff, which I can explain the lights and stuff pretty easily. I just wanted to wire in the front signal lights and the headlight circuits, the tail light circuits, get all of that wired in before I put the body on, so that I can like test mount all of those lights, plug them in, make sure everything works. So I did that, and also Factory 5 supplies a conversion basically so that you can run the LED taillights, because it basically had one wire. They call it like the high signal wire, turn signals and brakes, you know, when it's brighter, and then the other wire was just for the running lights. So you needed this converter because up in the wiring harness here, there were two wires for the brake lights, and then two for the either turn signal. So basically the converter combined the two high signal circuits into one circuit, and somehow, hey, don't jump in the car. I gotta keep an eye on him because he really wants to go and roll around and get hair on the carpet in the car. So he just really wants to a lot. So yeah, so I finished up that circuit. I got the LED relay in, and everything seems to be working. Also, so you remember when I said the oil pressure gauge wasn't working. What I was doing there around the oil filter was taking the sender out that came with the gauge kit and cranking over the engine. I just was getting no oil to that port, nothing. And it's actually the same port that the original one went in. So I plugged that port and I moved the sender, the new sender, to where the remote filter is, that housing on the kind of behind the radiator, and I just put it there instead, and now the gauge works great. So I just had to relocate that to get it to work. So now all the gauges work, all the lights work, and the body's on. So let me stand here next to you so we can take a look at the body here. You'll notice that it's really low here, way too low, and then way too high here. So my first order of business, I haven't even mounted the body yet. My first order of business is to pull the springs. Those are the 1-inch lowering springs, the linear rate springs that I bought. They're at their highest setting. Clearly they're not going to work. So I need to take those off, measure them, and get a longer spring so that I can pick that up. I looked at spacers, I looked at different things, but honestly, I think it's the fact that it's a lowering spring that is causing me difficulty with how it sits. So I'll get it on the lift, take the springs off, measure them, get the right one ordered. Thankfully, they were only like $70, $80. I mean, that's not nothing, but you know, it's better than like a $500 mistake. So I kind of anticipated some of this, you know, because it's a trial and error thing. The front, I just have to adjust the coilovers, and I'll probably do a little bit of caster camber adjustments on it as well. I want to get the suspension sitting kind of goodish, and then we'll start test mounting everything. We'll probably do a mixture of both because I'll have to wait on springs to come in and all that stuff. But anyway, yeah, I think we're caught up. So let's get the car rolled over to the lift again, and I can kind of start on that. And then I don't have to worry about a cat hair in my carpet. You're not going to be able to tell, you know, because it's up on the lift, but the ride height's much better. You might have seen enough in the time lapse, but I just adjusted the coilovers. It still needs to be aligned. You know, it'll be better once everything's the way it's supposed to be. As far as ride height goes, it's pretty dang close, and there's going to be some settling that happens as well. It's just natural. On the back, well, I'm using the stock springs off the 94 over there. I needed the extra height, and it's actually perfect. We're gonna they're not that hard to change. So we're just gonna see how it drives, you know? If it bottoms out, if it causes any sort of issues, well, I have some options that I've found for linear rate springs that are taller, but if these work, you know, is it a bad idea? I don't think it is. So, very good. Much happier with the ride height there. So now I think I'm gonna jump onto the front and rear body mounts. And I started to test fit a little bit just without the body mounts in, which is like kind of silly because you should probably mount that so you can see where that's gonna fall. But my roll bar was, the body was interfering with where it needed to go, just a hair. So I'll let that rest for now. We're gonna get the body where it's supposed to be. If that's an issue and I need to kind of work out those holes a little bit, I could order the grommet kit, you know, it kind of finishes out those holes a little bit better. I didn't, because, you know, we're doing what we're doing. But it's always an option. And again, it's an option even for later. It doesn't, you know, doesn't affect the drivability of the car. So I mean, do you ever get tired of looking at the lines on this thing? I don't at all. So yeah, let me get started on the body mounting, and just kind of, you know, we'll progress from there to running with the lights where they go, mounting those up, and eventually, you know, we'll get to things like doors and hood and stuff. We now come to the portion of the program that I like to call avoiding work. So this is a very important part of the whole process, where you have something to do that you need to do, but you don't really want to do it. You just kind of want it to get done without you having to do anything. So you fill the time by doing something that doesn't need to be done, because it does eventually need to get done. So, you know, you can justify it. So, what am I avoiding, do you ask? Well, that's not important. What is important is the work that I am doing. So let me set my coffee down here. If you notice, well, I don't have it next to me. Hang on, just stay there a minute. I'll be right back. I gotta get my, I gotta get my props. I don't remember where I put them. They're somewhere. I just can't find them. You'd think I would be ready. Well, you would be wrong in thinking that. Okay, so if you remember, this is the air filter that came off the Mustang, which had acres of underhood area to put a nice big filter. Problem is, I would have had to cut a hole in the side of the Cobra to make this filter work. I just don't think that's a popular choice. So, and anyway, the color, it's not going to match the paint. So I just feel like that's the wrong choice. This is my solution. It's a short filter. Now, will it restrict a little bit of air? I don't know. Does it matter? It's going to filter air. And I mean, let's face it, we're not struggling for power here. So we're just going to use this little access hole here, and I'm going to see if it fits. See if there's enough clearance. And see, a little struggle here. Oh man, we have got all kinds of clearance, by which I mean like a ½ inch, but that's good news. That is excellent news. I hope I don't ever have to change that filter. So, not worried about it, it'll be fine. So, I just have to tighten that up and find something else to, what am I avoiding? Okay, fine. Quit nagging me. I need to fit this body, okay? I've basically started at the rear like you're supposed to, tighten the quick jacks up with the bolts. Actually, I'll probably take you back there and kind of explain the struggle that I had with it. And then come up here, center the body based on the suspension on the front before I tighten that up, so that I can move on, according to the book, start fitting the hood and all of that. The thing is, this book here, as helpful as it is, there's huge gaps in it. So I've jumped on some of the forums, lots of helpful information on the forums. Lots of people have built these. There are builders out there who build these that have built multiple ones of these. Is that how you say that? Multiple ones? Lots of them, several. And yeah, so they've found their own way that works for fitting. Things that the book says to do that they say, you don't really have to do that, or things that the book doesn't say that they say, hey, think about doing this. So I'm going to jump back on, that's what I can do. I'm going to jump back on the forums and continue avoiding actually doing the work until I feel like I have a full grasp. And then it's the next thing to do. So really, there's no avoiding it. Seriously though, look at it. It's amazing. It's coming together. The thing's coming together. So I love all the mechanical parts. This is not my favorite part. There's a lot of assemble, disassemble, assemble, disassemble, fit. It's just tedious. It's not my favorite, but you know what? That's life. That is life. I'm almost out of coffee. I should get some more. let's talk about a little bit what I've been doing here. So I've been kind of working these openings, maybe not exactly how I would do it the next time, because if you can tell, these windshield posts kind of come down at an angle like this. They don't come straight at a right angle. So if you order the kit and Factory 5 pre-cuts the hole, it's just a very thin slit that runs this way along the same as the seam here. So I opened it up and ended up having to open it up more on this corner and this back corner. Same on the other side. And the goal is to get it to slide in there and bolt in. Once it's bolted in, it's not touching the body anywhere. You don't want it rubbing up against it. Right now, it's touching a little bit now that it's bolted in, but once I pull this out, I've already marked it, I can just kind of zip a little more off of there. So you have to, at the base of these, you have to pre-drill the holes. How the directions have you do it is just drill a 1/2 inch hole, and then you'll stick a 1/2 inch bolt through, put a nut on the other side, and bolt them down. Because it's so hard to access, a lot of guys in the forums suggested and have threaded those holes. They just tapped them out in a 1/2 13 pitch. So that's what I did. So glad that I did. That way I could slide it in, I could thread everything in just finger tight, but it's in place. I know everything fits. If I want to, I can come down the other side and kind of lock it with a nut on the back side. But for these purposes, it's perfect. So yeah, you have to put it down in there and with a marker, mark the 2 holes on either side. And then you take it out, and the holes will probably be off center one way or the other, because it's really hard. You do the measurements, but it's really hard to get it to stay. And then all you do is you just center them. You don't change where they are up or down, but you center them on the post from where you marked them, and it works great. So the other thing, I'm actually in the middle of adjusting this trunk, but it's got a lot of adjustment. You've got some adjustment on the hinge and some adjustment on the trunk itself, and you can slide that way. So that's not going to be too terrible. I can adjust it and then trim some away if I need to make the gaps right. Working on that. The other thing is the roll cage or the roll bar, whatever. So where it mounts on the frame, it's a fixed place. Now that the body is where it is, it's not gonna go anywhere, and it's equal on the sides. It's equal where the hinges go. It's not going anywhere. I put the roll hoop in, and again, the goal is that the hoop does not touch the body anywhere. It just runs through. So I worked on trimming some away, so you can see I have more of a gap on this side because the hole is really over here, and I needed it to be a little bit over here. Not quite so bad on this one, and I just did a tiny bit on this one. So again, you don't want it touching the body. And I may do the grommets, it'll cover that hole and also prevent water from getting in the trunk area. I don't have those, but yeah, I might order them just because it makes sense, They provide you the seals that cover these holes, so. But I could always just bolt it up after I paint the body, and then later unbolt it, pull it out, and put the grommets in. So it's not a big deal. So, what else? Anything else? That's pretty much what I've been doing. So, I'm going to keep doing the fitting work, you know, my favorite. So, I'm loving doing it. And so I'm going to just keep doing what I love. Yeah. There always has to be something in a project that just isn't your favorite, and that's okay. It gives you the chance to, you know, exercise self-control or something. Anyway, back to it. I think we're going to call it quits on this episode. But before you know, I can't talk. Take two. I think we're going to call it quits on this episode. But before I do, let's go in and see what I've been doing besides bumping my head on the hinge. Because, you know, if you're not bleeding, you're not working hard enough. So let's start with the taillights. I drilled these holes a little bit bigger than they had because I have a factory harness plug that's got to fit through it. That's just the way I designed it. And once we do the final install, I'll seal the backside up so the circuit board doesn't get, you know, dirt in it. Pre-drilled all the holes for these access hole ports I'm probably going to, well, I don't know. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Anyway, they're pre-drilled and ready to rivet down, or some other fastening way of putting them down. The shocks. So if I had installed these sooner, I probably wouldn't have, damaged my head. But there you go. So they hold up the trunk very nicely. It would have been way easier to be adjusting the hinges if I had done that first, but live and learn. That's the saying, I think. Okay, what else? What do we got? Did the wiring for the license plate light and holder, so that works. Pre-drilled all the holes there. With this latch, I just need to drill a hole here for the striker. So then I'll disassemble the latch mechanism once I know it works. And yeah, go from there. Also, they had you kind of using like little rubber stops to get your height, anyway. Long story short, that was stupid. I just installed the weather stripping so that when I was adjusting the trunk, it was sitting how it would be sitting when the car is finished. So, and then I'll just take the weather stripping off when when I'm done. When I'm done with all of this. So it just made it, I don't know, just made it easier. I had to grind, the seams here that are kind of, tall mountains of seams. I ground them down on either side. Also did the same on the door seams over here. So what else do we got? The gas tank, the flip top, shiny thingy. That's shiny thingy is technical terminology. So I don't want you to be confused, by other fancy words such as polished aluminum, or stainless. Shiny thingy will usually cover all of that. So just, top tip there. So this is off of the Mustang. I just use it to plug the hose so I don't get debris in my gas tank. Makes a nice cap, and also I don't get fumes of gasoline coming out because I have a cap on it. So I guess we already talked about the windshield stuff. I don't know. I think that did it. I'm just assembling and disassembling as I go, trying to make things happy, so that there's very little to absolute zero amount of fitment that I need to do after the car's painted, and I don't want to scratch it. So, all right. As always, thanks for hanging out, and who knows what we might do next time. But I have a feeling it's going to be more of what I was just doing. So that's where we're at. So anyway, see you later.